Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Year 4 English on this Friday morning. It's nearly the weekend, just got one more lesson to go through this morning. One thing I would like to say at the beginning of this lesson, I'm giving you the spoiler alert, there are some chapters for you to listen to at the end of this video. So don't leave too early, okay? So when you get to the end of the video, listen to the chapter at the end. That will get you in the right place, ready for Monday's learning, okay? So this morning, our learning intention is to be able to describe events in a story using Year 4 writing objectives. Okay, so today we're going to use the notes that we made yesterday to write about the main events that have happened during the Varjak Paul story. Okay, what I want you to do then, I've got a question on here. What has happened to Varjak since he left the house? Now, what I want you to do is turn to a partner or an adult or sibling at home and just share your notes from yesterday. Have you included everything that you could possibly remember? Does your partner remember anything else that could have been added into those sort of under those subheadings? Have a little discuss, talk about it. You've got probably 2 minutes and then we'll come back together. So press pause now. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to look at those subheadings from yesterday. You've been able to compare ideas, and hopefully some of you were able to add some extra bits if there was anything that you'd forgotten. Remember, we weren't looking for sentences. We were just looking for single words or pairs of words that just make up phrases. Okay, just things that could help to jog your memory when it comes to do your main writing this morning. Okay, what we're going to do to begin with is look at a waggle. Now, what I've done with the waggle, it's on 2 slides today, and I've given you one thing at a time here, and I've almost taken the subheadings from yesterday, and I've actually written a paragraph about each one. Now, I'm writing it as if I'm being Varjak Paul. So straight away, I'm using first person language. So I am being Varjak, and I'm writing as if I'm making a speech to my family, to the Mesopotamian Blues, to tell them what's happened to me since I left the house. And it's that part where Varjak is sat in the lounge talking to them all and just discussing where he's been and what he's seen and what he's done. Okay, so the waggle below reads as follows. I'm sure that you will be interested to know how successful I was in completing my mission. The first thing that I would like to say is that I am definitely much wiser because of the life I have experienced in the outside world. The city is a bustling hive of activity. The peace and quiet that you enjoy here is very different from life outside. I have also met Jalal, our ancestor. He comes to visit me in my dreams. I meet him in Mesopotamia. The land is burning hot, dry and dusty. It smells very different from this country, in a good way. He has taught me how to fight. This was very useful as I had lots of cats trying to hurt me. I am now strong because of the training that Jalal gave me. But what of the mission? Did I find a dog? Well, initially I thought that dogs were metal monsters because of the loud noise and foul repellent breath that they produced. However, I have discovered that these creatures are in fact cars. Imagine my surprise when I discovered that cars are actually a method of transportation. Our family needs to be kept safe. Cats all over the city are vanishing. No one knows where they go. I need to be here to protect you. I now know that I am strong enough to do so. I eventually discovered that dogs are, in fact, wild, ferocious beasts. They have razor-sharp teeth and are petrifying to look at. One of these terrifying creatures is a friend of mine and is ready to help. I am also here with Holly, my best friend. I left as a kitten, but have returned a warrior. Okay, so that's the waggle for this morning. Now there are lots of Year 4 writing objectives in here, and I've put a copy of the waggle up onto the web page this morning next to the English video so that you can click it and get it up on the screen and have a look at it as you're writing. Okay, now I'm going to be asking you this morning, or your independent task this morning, will be to turn the notes that you made yesterday into a speech that Varjak could make to his family, telling them of his adventures. You will need to use Year 4 writing objectives as far as you can this morning. You need to be using paragraphs. Now, the paragraphs should be easy for you today because each of those mini individual subheadings from yesterday could be your paragraphs if you wanted them to be. Can you use rhetorical questions? You'll see in the Waggle that I've used rhetorical questions. They're a really good way of asking questions that don't necessarily need an answer. Last word, first word. You'll see in the Waggle I've used that a couple of times. I love last word, first word. They're really, really good for using description and writing descriptive sentences. Frontal adverbials. Could you use them in your writing? I would, if you can, it would be good to use a frontal adverbial in it at least once in every paragraph. Exclamations. Can you use statements that need an exclamation mark in there? Things that are, people are, something that's really forceful, something that really, really needs to be reinforced. Could you use first person? Now, this is crucial today. If you're not using first person, then you're not writing as if you're Varjak, okay? Nowhere should I see the word Varjak or Varjak Paul in your writing this morning. It should be I, my, we, our, us. Those sort of words this morning, okay? Past tense. Obviously, this is you're writing this because as if things have already happened. It should be in past tense. Think back to your newspaper article. Think back to words. Past tense words could include ED words. They're very good, some of them, for past tense. But just try and make sure you're not writing as if it's happening now. You're writing about events that have already happened. Expanded noun phrases, crucial today. This is a really good chance of shoehorning in as many descriptive words as you possibly can. And finally, your extension, or some of you might be able to, use relative clauses. Okay, so you might never have dropping clauses in the middle of your writing. Okay, some of you are used to using those, some of you are not yet. So that's why I put that as an extension piece this morning. That's a could target this morning. Okay, so I'm looking for you to use the Waggle. Now, I spoke to quite a few people over the last week who struggle sometimes with getting things started. Okay, use the Waggle. No one's going to be upset if you maybe start it off using my ideas. Okay, if that's a way of getting your story or getting your piece of writing going, then use it. Okay, all I don't want to see is you copying huge chunks of my Waggle out. Okay, take ideas, use some of the descriptive words. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Okay, that's why the Waggle's there. It's for you to use and for you to give you good ideas. Okay, so while you're writing, you may obviously press pause. The success criteria is on the screen in front of you. If you wanted to wind the video back and look at the Waggle again, you're more than welcome to, or you can open it up from the school website. When you're ready, then I want you to come back to me because I want to read to you one more chapter before we're finished off for this weekend. Okay, so press pause while you're working, press play when you're ready to come back to me. Okay, press pause now. Okay, welcome back. I hope that your writing's gone well this morning. I'm going to look forward to reading some of it, and so will Miss Flukes. Please, I'd love you, or we'd love you, to submit some of this writing to us. We will then give you some feedback based on what you have written and suggestions for how you could improve it in the future. Okay, so it'd be really good if you could send some of that in to us. We're going to now move on. We're going to look at chapter 31. So Varjak, Holly has just been taken by the black cats upstairs. Varjak has chosen his family over Holly, and I don't think he's very happy about it. Okay, so chapter 31. That evening, Varjak dreamed. He dreamed he was walking by the Tigris. Date palms swayed in the cinnamon breeze. He looked up at those Mesopotamian stars, no longer so strange. They were part of him now, as he was part of this place. It was peaceful out here. It was home. However hard Jalal's teaching was, it wasn't as difficult as the real world, with its decisions and dangers and failures. Jalal walked beside him. The knowledge that was lost is almost restored, he said. There is but one more skill. This, however, I cannot teach you. I can only tell you its name. As he spoke, Varjak wondered what the original Mesopotamian blue really thought of him. Jalal had never answered that question. Would the old cat be proud that Varjak had stood by his family? He'd faced a terrible choice, and he had chosen the Mesopotamian blues. It hurt inside when he thought of Holly, so he tried not to, and looked at his silver blue ancestor instead. What is the seventh skill, Jalal? The seventh skill is to trust yourself. There, your training is now complete. Keep the way alive, Varjak Paul. Jalal glided down to the water's edge. Wait, called Varjak. I don't understand. Show me what it means. Trusting yourself is a skill. Like open mind, said Jalal. But where the first skill looks outwards, the seventh looks inwards. This is the hardest skill of all. For someone who thinks he is not worthy, even to be himself, it could be impossible. Varjak hung his head, tried to look away from Jalal's amber gaze, but there was no avoiding his ancestor's words. They seemed to reach right into his heart. What have I taught you, my son? A cat must be free, must be true to itself. When you said you were not worthy to be a Mesopotamian blue, I knew not whether to laugh or cry. You see, who you are and where you come from count for nothing with me. The only thing that counts is what you do. Varjak gasped at his ancestor. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Aren't we the noblest of cats, he said. We are whatever we choose to be, said Jalal. If being a blue means anything, it means following my way. Any cat who does that is one of mine. All you need to do is trust yourself, and I say you are worthy to be a blue. He smiled. What say you now, Varjak Paul? But my eyes. What colour are your eyes? They're the wrong colour, the colour of danger. Which is? Varjak hesitated. I don't know, he admitted. I've never seen them. Come and join me, my son. Varjak glided down to the water's edge. Look at me. Am I worthy to be a Mesopotamian blue? Of course you are. Now look into the river. What do you see? Varjak peered at the still surface of the Tigris. He saw the stars shimmering deep inside, saw the moon rising in the east, and saw two silver blue cats with amber eyes, calmly looking back at him. Okay, that's the end of the chapter and the end of the lesson. Have a lovely weekend, everybody, and I will see you bright and early on Monday morning for the last week before half term. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye.